This is episode 194 of the Double Cross Anime Podcast. I'm Whooper, and here's Mario.
Hey, how are you guys?
This is a special morning edition, for me at least, because I live in the northern hemisphere, and that means that I might have extra trouble remembering details about these 10. I mean, I say this every time, but I might have extra trouble remembering detail about these 10 summer anime, because that's what we're here to talk about. 10 anime series from summer 2026, which I think turned out to be pretty, a pretty strong crop. Oftentimes I'll say that I only care about the top 4 or 5 shows from each group of 10 that we do every quarter, because this is a tradition. But this time I will probably watch at least one more episode of virtually all of these shows. Maybe one of them will get left off the list. We'll see. Mario, how do you feel?
That's interesting. I also enjoy a fair bunch of like the show that we watch, and also the other shows that we watched for during the first impression. I would say there is like the good 2 shows that I don't think I gonna give it another chance, and
Mm-hmm.
the rest would be I'm good to like give it more chances. One other thing that I want to mention is that we changed a bit of the schedule, this time. So as Cooper mentioned, so it's early morning for him and late at night for me. But the good thing that we do this time is that actually we do that on the same day. Normally we would do that on the different days because it will be my morning the next day and Cooper night.
That's true. We're coming to you live from, well, this is not live, but we are recording on July 18th,
Yep.
same day.
Mhm.
We used to do that. Long ago, I seem to remember that when
Yep.
this was a weekly thing instead of a monthly or bi-monthly thing.
Yep.
Um, I seem to remember waking up at like 6 a.m. or something.
Uh, yep.
And we changed it depending on daylight savings time and our schedules and all that. But I guess this is a bit of a throwback,
Hmm.
and it's also a
I agree.
throwback in that it is a first impressions episode, and we're doing those all the time. I don't think we've ever missed one.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Though there was, I think in 2021 there or 2020 maybe there was probably like a COVID impacted episode where we did only 4 shows or something like that.
Wow, right.
It was
I
the season
don't
with like no guns life. You
right.
remember
I
the
yeah.
noir parody with the detective who
Yep,
had a
yep.
gun for a head?
I know. Yep. I remember that one. I don't
It,
recall that episode though, but
yeah,
cool.
it's back there. You can check the archives if you're listening. All right,
Yep.
enough about the past though.
Yep.
What are the 10 shows we're going to be talking about? Or I suppose what's first on the list?
All right. I follow the order that you make. So I think you based on the English title. So the first one that we're gonna do is the Chainsmoker Cat
Right.
or Yanni Neko.
Right. Smoking Cat.
Yep. The cat girls who smoke.
Yeah, so we're only introduced to uh well, there are like the side characters, I guess, the background characters who what is the main character's name? Yaniko. Okay. Makes
Yaniko.
sense because the show's called Yani Neko.
Yep.
Um there are like a couple acquaintances of hers that she meets in a convenience store or something.
Hmm.
But apart from those two, it's really only Yaniko and her sister Masuko
Yep.
that we meet in this episode. So we haven't met all the other girls who are they visible in the OP?
You know me with the OP. I don't remember any OP. I
Okay.
even skip a lot of OPs.
Well, I liked the
I
OP
would
for
say
the
yes.
show a lot.
I would say yes because I recall a couple more girls, more cat girls,
Okay.
but not in
It's
these episodes.
yeah, not in this episode, but I think they're in the OP. And the idea is that a lot of them are going to have different addictions and vices. Whereas she is a smoker, one of them might be like a drinker and another one might be I don't know,
Right.
a slob. which Yaniko
Uh,
already is.
yeah. I Alright, I'll be honest here. Like the first 2 minutes of this show totally throw me off. Not in a good way. I just don't understand that their sense of humor. I think they try to be raunchy.
Yep.
Didn't work for me. So the rest of the episodes is a bit better, but like totally, I just not totally in the same way with the shows. I just don't find any of this funny or like really anything that I care about.
Yeah, it's like gross out humor, pretty
Hmm.
much.
Hmm.
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as though watched a bunch of stuff like this as a kid, but
Hmm.
I think there's enough of an undercurrent of like disgusting humor, even in like Nickelodeon shows like SpongeBob SquarePants.
Uh huh.
There will be moments in episodes that are kind of gross, like close-ups of characters like bloodshot eyes or really disgusting stuff under their fingernails or somebody eating something that's really nasty and not realizing it, and then
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
spitting it out. Just stuff like that, even in kids shows.
Right.
Uh, so even though I wasn't watching the stuff that was more hardcore, I guess, this isn't enough to throw me off, really. I mean, it is gross that she dumps out that glass of like tar juice and cigarette butts onto her landlord's
Yep.
head.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh, and even the design of the landlord himself is,
Mm.
I mean,
Yep.
his head kind of looks like
Yep.
the a penis.
Yep. 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 God. Yep.
So, and then you know you see him barge in on Yaniko while she's undressing, and then he is of course using like referring to that memory as he's pleasuring himself later.
Hmm. And it's
Um,
just the first 2 minutes that we were talking
right.
about.
Yeah. It you know when you describe it out loud, it's pretty nasty. But part
Yep.
of it, like I'm kind of amused by
Hmm.
how gross the show is, especially because it takes the concept of cat girls and combines it with this level of sickness, I guess, because cat
Yep.
girls are meant to be cute, and the main character even has like the accent, I guess, or the inflection, the vocal tick,
Uh-huh.
where
Uh-huh.
she
Uh-huh.
says "nya" a lot.
Yep.
Um, I think that's
Yep.
kind of amusing that they're taking something that's kind of held up by otaku, maybe like cat girls, and
Hmm.
perverting it.
Yep. So what's special about this cat girl is that she smoke a lot, and we see like in this episode her multiple attempt to like to stop, try to cut her cigarette smoking, or like try to just to like um get like don't have to spend for more cigarette because like she also very tight for food as well, but like every single time is failed, and every single time she just got sick. Even like at the end she got sick to the point that her sister had to come to look after her.
Right, in a hazmat suit.
Yep.
The she All of her attempts to quit smoking are pretty half-hearted, I would say.
I would say so too. Yep.
And
One
that's
smoke a
kind of
day.
one thing that I'm interested in seeing from the show is all the different ways that it can like try to get Yaniko or the other characters to like whatever schemes they'll come up with,
Yep.
whatever limits they'll impose on themselves in order to change their own behavior, and to see all the ways that those attempts will fail
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
probably going to be the main comedic thrust, I think.
Yep.
Because it is funny to, well, I don't know. It's if maybe if you know somebody who is a struggling smoker who's trying to quit or drinker or whatever. Maybe it's not
Yep.
funny to people with those sorts of addicts in their life, but I don't know. To me, it is. It's like
I think
it's kind of black humor, I guess.
yeah, yeah. I
I
think it's
like.
more. I think it's more painful than is it funny, but the way the show, like make a laugh out of it, it actually kind of pretty interesting. I agree.
Yeah, and it is kind of tragic as well.
Hmm.
For example, that final phone call between Yaniko and her sister,
Yeah,
where she's just I. What dream has she had? She has like a nightmare, and she wakes up from it, and she is like motivated to stop smoking,
yeah.
and she calls her sister for comfort, basically, because of
Mm.
um, whatever nightmare she's just had. Can you remember what exactly she dreams of?
No, I can't recall at the moment
Yeah,
actually,
neither
but
can I.
it it was a nightmare about. I think she got kicked out of her job or something,
Oh,
or like.
didn't she get diagnosed with lung cancer?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's the
That's
one.
it.
That's the one. Yeah.
Of
And then
course, the
she
classic.
still smoke. Yeah, she still
Right.
smoke, but
Yeah,
in the
you
dream.
know, that's like a tragic scene.
Yeah,
Even though it's played for laughs, that she has this crippling addiction that's causing her, psychological and physical torment, because
yeah,
her lungs are blackening as a result of all the tar. Uh, so she's like calling her sister crying and vowing that she's gonna quit smoking, and then her sister hears like the flick of a lighter through the speaker.
yeah,
It's just,
yeah.
to me, that's the line between humor and tragedy there is
Mhm.
something I'm
Yeah,
interested in seeing more of.
yeah. Well, good for you. How you think of the visual of the show?
So I don't really like the fact that the apartment is rendered in 3D CG.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Both shots of it from the outside and the inside. I don't know if you remember the opening scene where she's like sitting on her porch and she lights up a cigarette and the camera kind of shifts to
Mhm.
from looking like kind of down at her on the step to moving up so it's overlooking the railing of the balcony.
Yep.
That's clearly a move done in like a CG environment that's been created for the show. I think pretty much every view of her apartment, whether it's on the balcony out there or inside, is 3D, and I don't really like the way that looks. Um, but the animation is quite good.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I mean, I guess I'm split on it.
Yeah. Well, I
I
agree
can
with you on
tolerate it.
the. Yeah, I think I agree with you on the 3D CD. Uh, but 3D CG. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm not tolerant of the show. All right, so I put that 10 out of 10 actually.
I figured you would rank it pretty low. I have it at sixth.
Right. Yeah. All right. The next one should be the more interesting one. The Ghost in the Shell, 2026 version.
Yep.
All right. I think I can start with this one first.
Go ahead.
I'm the one who watched the first movies, the sequel movies, and the first season. Like they have like 24 48 episodes of like the standalone complex, and we together watched like the first season of that one.
Yep.
So I'm the stranger of the Ghost in the Shell. Uh, this one, when sometime when it run into the plot itself, I still get a bit confusing about like all the techno bubble of everything. But yeah, as the plot itself, I think it's clear. As when it go to the techno bubble though, it just still confusing me a hell lot.
Did you watch the sub or the dub?
I want the sub. I think that's my issues.
I watched it subbed at first. I watched it again dubbed.
Yep. Is it better?
Is it better? I don't know.
All
It's
right.
different. I mean, I have a history of watching Ghost in the Shell dubbed.
Yep.
That's how I
Uh huh.
watched Standalone Complex.
All right.
Um, so I have not seen Arise, and I haven't seen 2045. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the Oshii films and both seasons of SAC, um,
Yep.
and I've watched all that dubbed. It just
Mm.
helps because not only does it make the information more digestible, especially when they're talking about politics,
Yep.
um, but it also lets you focus on the visuals because these shows typically have pretty good
Mm.
visuals. This one,
Mm.
this is like the fastest paced Ghost in the Shell. Not necessarily in terms of story.
Mm.
Maybe it's the fastest paced in terms of story, but it's definitely the fastest paced visually.
Yep. Yep. I agree with you on that.
There's the most action, I think, that I've seen in just like an individual episode of Ghost in the Shell. It's very quick. Like the scene where they're trying to apprehend the ghost controller after
Uh
they're
huh.
out of after he's come out of the orphanage
Yep.
where he works that they've staked out. It's like there's a bunch of scenes of people like vrooming through the forest or like tunnels in their fuchikomas,
Mm-hmm.
which are very strange, by the way, because in the tachikomas from Standalone Complex, for example, the blue AI spider-looking robots.
Yep.
Um, that's what I'm accustomed to. The Fuchikomas, they have, they're red and they have a different design, so that's whatever. But whenever the person inside one of the Fuchikomas talks, a
Mm-hmm.
mouth moves on the outside of the robot. I don't
Yeah.
know if you noticed this. That was
I
very
noticed
weird.
that.
Uh, I mean, the show is more like the character animation is more expressive to pair
Yep.
with the faster pace and the faster visuals. So I guess it
Mm-hmm.
kind of makes sense that the robot has a mouth because it's a little bit more cartoon inspired, more directly manga inspired. But I was like, whoa, this is this isn't your grandma's Ghost in the Shell anymore. The robots have
Yep.
mouths.
What your
Anyway,
take on?
the yeah,
Yep.
when they were trying to apprehend the ghost controller, there were a lot of scenes of him like sneaking up on other characters and appearing behind them, like
Mm.
very quickly, and then someone else would interfere, and the perspective would kind of change, uh, and he would take over Motoko's ghost, and she would like plummet off of the top of a building or something and down a cliff, and this all happened like all these scenes happened in very quick succession.
Yep.
So yeah, just a quicker pace in general.
I actually enjoy that. So like I think visual wise the show look great. It doesn't look I might have like a little bit reaction against the 2002 version because they use the use of some CG. This one though I have no issue at all with the visual at least. Uh what's your take on the majors like she actually really expressive this time, a bit hyper, so to say. What's your take on their take on her version this time?
It's I think it's supposed to be more like manga accurate. So I
Oh
guess
really?
yeah, this one
All right.
has designs that are like the closest to Shiro's original designs.
Listen, I thought that the Ghost in the Shell, the original film was the original.
Oh no,
All right, all right, I was
no.
wrong then. I didn't know that.
Oshii did his own thing. Like
Right,
so in the 1995 film, the opening
right.
scene is the same as in this version, where it's
Uh
her
huh.
like assassinating somebody through a window and then
She
like
not
diving
naked
off
though.
the top of the building with her optical camouflage.
Yep.
Same scene, and I assume that comes from the comic book. Um, but from there, Oshii was like, I I'm doing my own thing now, and I'm going to change the character designs and like the tone and all that.
Right. Right. Yep. All right.
So this, how do I feel about her character being different? It's just closer to the comic book, and I guess that's fine. I mean, I don't. She still seems to be like very competent. She's the assassin from the initial scene, after all, and she has enough. Like the former, is it? What's the deal? Like a former prime minister or some sort of person with like a cabinet position has given her the assassination order, and that's what she presents in order to get Section 9 created. It's at in this episode at the very like start of the episode. There's a bunch of narration or on-screen text, I guess, explaining
Yep.
how Section 9 came to be in the immediate aftermath of this assassination that's pictured in the opening scene. And she tells one of the Fuchikomas to check out whether it's official that the department or her squad or whatever has been greenlit and is now receiving funding and stuff. During that scene with the cherry blossoms,
Mm-hmm.
where she and Bato and Togusa and some other members of Section 9, or what will is soon to be Section 9, I guess. They're just like lounging around, viewing the cherry blossoms or whatever, and that's when she gets the call that Section 9 is now official. And so their first job, I guess, is to stake out this orphanage, which is the story picks up from there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting that we're at this very start of the timeline. I wonder if that's how it was in the manga as well, like starting with their very first case rather than beginning, I guess, like in media res.
Yep. Yep. I it take me by surprise that like it take to the very beginning, as you say, with the creation of the Section 9 itself, because I don't think we um like whichever version that we watch, they already been established.
Right. Yeah. So I don't imagine it'll be that much different than
Mm-hmm.
past Ghost in
Yep.
the Shell series. Uh,
Yep.
Maybe there will be
Agree.
like a little bit more bureaucratic red tape or whatever, more jostling between the major and the people who are like holding her purse strings. I mean,
Yep.
you see her connect, like form a direct connection with the minister,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the kind of overweight guy with the crazy goldfish eyes, and
Yep.
she
Yep.
has
Yep.
him punch himself in the face.
Yep.
Um, you know, maybe not the the smartest move during your first day on the job, but
She doesn't care.
yeah,
She doesn't
she's
give.
more like hot-headed, I think,
Yep. Yep.
than we've seen
Yep.
in past Ghost in the Shell series or films. But she could be, I mean, the major could be hot-headed in like standalone complex. There are moments where like, there's the famous scene in SAC where she like takes on a tank one versus one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so even in other Ghost in the Shell works, she has that in her. It's just on the surface this time.
Yep. So I would say I'm still intrigued about like the whole concept, and the visual are really good. At the moment, I don't really like connected to any of the characters just yet. I
Well,
think
it's
it's
only
more like
been
to
one episode.
yeah. Also, it just try to establish like the settings and the team and their mission first before we can get into like individual ones. But yeah, I think as far as the visual though, I think like you comment in your like your Starcross post that like it just go for the maximum. Uh,
Yeah.
I think it's work.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks
All
good.
right, what's your ranking
I put it
this time?
fourth.
I put it fifth.
All right.
All right, the next one. Let's come to Jaadugar, a witch in Mongolia.
Right. Naoko Yamada.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh boy.
she's chief director, and the series director is somebody else. I should really know their name rather than just fixating on
All right.
one person. Who is it?
He's a Spanish animator and
Oh
director,
yeah, Abel
Abel
Gongora.
Concora,
Right,
which is
right.
very interesting. Hmm.
Well, I mean, he's I recognize his name. He's been at Science Saru for a while now.
Yeah.
But this
Have
does
you
feel
have
very much like a Yamada series because you got the
I
you
agree.
got the young girl in a
Yeah.
historical setting,
Yeah.
uh, you know, like a male
Yeah.
dominated setting, and she's gonna do her best to like make an impact and all that. After Heike
Yeah.
Monogatari, this kind of
Yeah.
feels like the next thing from
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. I agree. Have you read any of this material before the manga?
No.
Right. It took me by surprise first because I thought it was about her life in Mongolia, but like it's actually a prologue of sort that
Hmm.
the setting is in Persia, so which is
Right.
like modern day Iran, and just the level of the craft put into like the world, it just looked magnificent. It's just yeah, it's just something else, man. If I come across without knowing anything about this show, if they don't speak Japanese, I would definitely thought it was like based on the actual work from from the Middle East countries.
Yeah, the inspiration is definitely there. I saw a video of her doing like location scouting.
Right. Wow. Right.
Like she took a trip to the Middle East, I guess, and went for research.
Hmm.
Um, just a short little like 3 minute video where she's out in the. I haven't seen. So I guess we should mention that the first two episodes came out at once. I've only seen the
Yeah.
first one.
I only see the first one too.
Okay. So the place where this video that I'm talking about with Yamada like on location, she was like there were tents all over the place. Um, like she was living among nomads, basically, like
Right.
tribes of
Wow.
nomadic people, which I assume is where
Mongolia is
Sitara
well.
will find herself eventually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps she
So
also went to Iran.
yeah.
I don't know, or like studied historical
Yeah.
texts or artifacts or whatever in order to
So
create that
yeah.
version of Persia that we see in the first episode because she's um, taken in by she's a slave and she's taken in by a family,
Yeah.
like a family of scholars, I guess.
Mhm.
And there's like of course, there's a market. There's a like a classic market scene where everyone's hawking their wares, and there are carpets and like linens and things, textiles everywhere that bear like distinctive Middle Eastern patterns. And
Mhm.
you actually, it's interesting. You hear characters say Allah in this show, like Allah, the um,
Mhm.
the word for God, which you
Yeah.
in even in other anime that have Middle Eastern settings, you never hear that word. You hear them say Kami, like
Yeah.
God,
Mm.
the more generic
Mm.
term for Kami. But I actually heard characters say Allah
Yeah.
here, which was a first for me. I think I'm sure it's
Mm.
not the first anime ever to do that, but I was like, whoa, they said it.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know as well, Mongolia is like a place, a country that are really huge, inland area. They are mostly consist of desert, so that's why it's very not a lot of people living there now. And normally the people living there are the nomad, which Whooper just mentioned. So they just like go through the desert and like just um living just by going from places to places.
Hmm. Yep, setting up their
Um,
tents and taking them down.
yeah, and during this time periods where like where this show taking in the Mongolia is at their most like their greatest. So they so they feel invincible that they try to invade other countries. I think there was a time they tried to invade China as well. I think during this time, and even that to Vietnam. Um, and at this point, they try to invade that country where our main characters, our girl Sitara, or she will change her name to Fatima, um, in Iran. So it's the city of Tust.
Right.
And just like Whooper mentioned, I just like I am flawed with the level of of respect they give uh to the Muslim community, because it's not very usual for Japanese to to depict the Muslim people, and here they treat with all the respect.
Yeah, it feels very authentic. I mean, not
Yeah.
that I'm an
Mhm.
expert, but
Yeah.
it feels like a lot of research was done, and certainly like the Sitara's. What when does she change her name to Fatima? Is it when she comes to live
No,
with the
so
scholar family, or is that going to be like in the future?
that's gonna be in the future when she
Okay.
got kidnapped by the Mongol people, and that's they changed her name to Fatima. I think she had to speak Mongol at one point. uh, yeah, but even like within uh the this Persian family where she was supposed to be a slave, they actually taking care of her by giving her like the knowledge. So by encourage her to read, by like just pick her interest of finding thing else. So I think that was really unusual for like her story already unusual.
Well, I mean, to be clear, she is still a slave,
Yep. Yep.
and I think there are references to her like you know being a slave rather than a human being um, in the dialogue. Not that the family that's taken her in is putting her down in that way, but
Yep.
she she isn't supposed to have like a will of her own, and that's
Yep.
why the conversation between her and the son of the family that
Yep.
has purchased her basically. Um, I think his name is Mohammed,
Mm.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Looking here at the
It's
character list, is that right?
it's a really popular name, but yeah,
Right. Yeah,
it's very pop
that's why I don't
Mohammed.
want to get it wrong and just assume that he has the
Yeah.
same name as many other men from that region. But it looks
Yeah.
like his name here is Muhammad, and he has a talk with her. Shortly after she tries to escape, as she did from the uh, place where she was being held originally.
Mm.
He like imparts to her the importance of learning, of knowledge, because knowledge allows you to have a clearer picture of the world and to kind of to make your way through it, basically to live with as much agency as you can. You have to know, you have to understand the world around you in order to shape it and live the
Yep.
sort of life that you want to live. And I think that's the same conversation where he like takes the pan or the pot on the
Yep.
rooftop and he throws it
Yep.
down to the the floor level, I guess, the first floor of
Yep.
their home.
Yep.
Explaining the difference between the people who understood that the noise was going to happen and braced themselves for it versus the people who didn't.
Yep.
Um, it's a very simple analogy, I suppose, or lesson that he sets up that way. But the dialogue and the framing of the pot crashing down makes it very effective. I think that was a critical moment for me in this episode
Yep. Yep. I agree.
because seems she needs to be like awestruck by that basically, or that kind of has to be the hinge. That scene has to be the hinge that the episode turns on because there's an 8 year time skip shortly afterwards, where we learn that she has really taken to Mohammed's way of thinking. Like she's taken that lesson and run with it and has become literate
Yep.
and studies all sorts of different topics and stuff. That's
Yep.
going to be the foundation for her character going forward. So I was very pleased with the success of that scene, and the success of the whole episode as well. I think it looks beautiful.
Hmm.
Um, I think the character designs are very neat,
Yep.
and
Agreed.
the show's probably going to benefit from that, given that slavery and warfare are pretty big topics. So having like cuter character designs may work in its favor, um,
Hmm.
to offset some of the heart. I mean, I would be down for this story. I think no matter what the character designs looked like, but to have that contrast might be helpful in the future.
Yep. And to even say that Sirata before that moment, she was trying to run away as well. So this is like the 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 important moment where she decided to just stay and to absorb and acknowledge as she could. And I'm also very curious about later on where that young man decided to pack away, and there is a little narration to say that they're not gonna see each other anymore in the future, which is kind of like interesting to me. So
Well,
maybe, yep,
it that
good.
could it, yeah, I remember that, and that does generate interest for sure. But I wonder if like I can't remember the exact phrasing of it, but perhaps they will meet again, but not as Sitara and Mohammed, maybe as Fatima and Mohammed.
Yep,
Maybe
yep,
that's the
yep,
idea. She'll be a quote unquote different person when they meet again, if they meet again.
yep. That makes sense. That's what I'm hopeful as well because Mohammed is a really good characters that we only seen sorry a few minutes of him, but he's like he wise, and I wanted to see him in the future. And interesting as well because we haven't seen the second episode, so we don't know how it's gonna end up. But it's interesting to see where the Sirata just move into like a completely different world where sorry, where she don't practice Muslim anymore because I don't think the Mongolian they are Muslim. I think I don't even know what religion they're going for. More Buddhism, I think.
I have no idea. Um, I mean, this is set in the time of Genghis Khan, right? The 13th
Yeah.
century.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if Genghis Khan is still alive or if it's like his son,
Hmm.
who's in power now, or like his grandson. I don't know, but that's around the time period. So I don't know if Genghis Khan's policy was to like
Yeah.
um, try to quash the religions of the people that he conquered, or if he allowed them to continue practicing their religions.
Mhm.
I don't remember that from world history class, but I suppose that would be the deciding factor in whether she continues to like pray,
Yeah.
5 times a day
Mm.
or whatever.
Yeah.
We shall see.
So, yeah, overall, really is inspiring. So, really good. So, I just feel glad that they decided to make this series, and that is just look at gorgeous. There are a lot of care put into it. We can see that.
Indeed,
Yep.
I
Any
ranked it
other note that you
first.
have for this one? I rank it second.
Second, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I already know what you put first because of the
Yep.
work that we did for the blog,
Yep.
but we'll leave it a surprise for now.
All right. The next one would be Kore Kaite Shine. Brought this, then die.
Yep. Um, Interesting title.
Yeah, interesting title. I come into it not knowing what to expect. Uh, come up very surprised after like that it tell they just in love for manga. You see a lot of different characters. I'm sorry, different manga title that like that we know as well, like Doraemon, like a lot of shows. So this is for the people who love manga and anime. the level of animation is actually also pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was charmed by these episodes.
Yeah, the references to other manga are not like parody versions, but they actually put
Yeah,
those manga on screen, uh, with realistic looking covers and characters and stuff. Like One Piece
yeah, yeah.
appears, which is very strange because the manga that Kore Kaite Shine is based on does
Hmm.
not run in
Any of this one,
a in the same like a magazine published by the same company as Shonen
right?
Jump.
Yeah, yeah. When I first see, I think the first manga title that we actually see is the Tekima, Te- Tekima always teasing me or something, or that title. Uh,
Oh, Teasing Master Takagi-san.
oh, yeah, I got the name wrong. Uh, I at first I thought they was of the same manga author because that would make the most obvious sense, but it wasn't. And then they put up One Piece, the Doraemon, and all these other characters. I
Yeah,
don't
so
know.
Teasing
Yeah.
Master Takagi-san does run in the same magazine as Kore Kaite Shine.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess
Well,
that's why that was the
it's there.
first manga reference because the two authors write for the same publication. But as for the other, the Shonen Jump and the other
Yeah.
stuff, I guess they got like permission, like specific permission to depict those on screen. I imagine they would have to because Japan's um, kind of strict about
uh,
that sort of thing.
yeah. Or maybe it's one of these show where it can be allowed to show that on the TV, but not when you release on DVD. So you
That
would
could
have
be.
like
I don't
another
know.
another first episodes some works
Yeah, I'm
in the
not
future.
sure.
Yeah.
In any case, it is all about manga. Yeah, the
Right.
the
Yeah.
main the main character loves manga. It's interesting. Manga is like, she's not your average manga obsessed like otaku, I guess. Her
Hmm.
love for it seems to be more like pure and kind of rooted in her own development as like a young person because she didn't like before she read manga, she had difficulty connecting with people,
Yeah.
and she kind of used her fantasies that sprung up from all the comic books that she was reading as a way of like kind of developing her own inner voice that she would use to
Yeah.
um, like motivate herself in order to talk to somebody or to
Hmm.
try to challenge herself or be brave, you know. Um,
Even before that, sorry, I just cut you there. Even
sure.
before that, like she, even she before she get into the mega store, she actually you can see like her imagination children wise, like you she see a cat and she think of it as a ninja. I really love that kind of visual and like get into her head to see what she sees, what she imagines as. Really lovely. I love that.
This is before she has her little raccoon companion or whatever from the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
manga that she reads.
Yeah. So this is like this was the first 5 minutes where even before she get into the manga store where she was a kid, she already like imagine like everything around her more vibrantly. Like
Mm,
that I mentioned the cat just walk in the on the rooftop
right.
and she imagined that as a ninja
That's
and
right.
just yeah, so I just love that. So yeah, so I'm not surprised or that she got into like the manga and got sucked into that, like all of her characters, and you know she would have like an imagination characters who like mascot who encourage her to talk to other people.
Right. Pokota is the name of
Yeah.
the little. I guess it's a raccoon. Is it a tanuki?
uh maybe a mix between both. Let
Yeah.
me click on him.
It kind
Nothing.
of plays the
uh,
role of like her best friend, her imaginary friend.
yep.
Um, and that there is something very, kind of innocent and
Mm.
wonderful about that. And
Yep.
she carries that with her into her teenage years, um, where she, of course, is starting to think about what she wants to do. Is that a? I mean, I watched this episode a while ago. Is that a part of this episode's story, like the career forms or whatever, where you declare your intentions for what you want to be after high school, and she doesn't
All
know?
right.
Is that part of this episode?
Uh, I don't recall that actually.
Okay. I'm struggling to dive back in my memory and remember details about this one. But even if that's not a part of this episode, she is, I guess, thinking a little bit about what her future is going to be like,
Mm.
and she can't imagine it without manga, right? That's part of why she goes to Komike or
Yep. Yep.
Comiket,
Yep.
or whatever
Yep.
the show's version of the you know that
And
convention is.
yep. And I just love her realization when she get there that like people her age or anyone can draw mangas.
Right.
So that yeah, so she have like her little reaction where this is like everyone, oh my god. So I think that would make her wanted to make a manga by herself, and then she see the teacher who is the author of the book that she really like.
Right. Yeah, that you often like when you read interviews with like film directors or
Right.
um, other
Yeah.
creative people. There's often a moment that they'll describe when when they're children and they see a film and then they
Yeah.
realize, oh, somebody made this. I could do this.
Mhm.
She has that moment as well,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And that is if the show is going to be about her journey of creating manga, then I guess that's an important moment to show. Um,
Agreed.
the relationship with her teachers is kind of interesting. Like I know, having read online the structure of the manga from which the show is adapted, it
Mm.
like it has a dual protagonist sort of setup,
All right.
and the
Uh-huh.
teacher is like gets her own individual chapters. It's like every 5 or 6 chapters or so, the teacher gets a chapter that's just
Is
about
it about
her.
present day, or is it more about like her when she was doing the her first manga?
That I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Um, it would make sense for it to be a flashback,
Hmm.
to the teacher's earlier work, because then you could kind of run that in parallel with Ai's story
Hmm.
in the present about trying to make a manga. But I don't know that for sure. But
Yeah.
that's kind of interesting. I wonder if the anime will do the same thing, like if it'll give half an episode, for example, to the teacher's character, perhaps a flashback to the teacher's like artistic process or whatever.
Hmm.
I guess we'll see. But I do like that she is more dedicated now to being like a role model for I than she is to
Hmm.
being a cartoonist, because she like shuts down her booth at Comic Cat and like
give
it's
give
time
them
to
for
go home, and
free.
they get on the ferry.
Yeah. And give the book for free. You can have that for
Right.
free, and I think it's just so amazing.
Right. Yeah, you can see that she's not in it for the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
She comes out with new work, I suppose, because she like maybe she was inspired to do so, or maybe she heard
Yeah.
from other fans of hers that they really, really wanted her to come back, and so she was responding to that desire. Um, I guess we don't know as of yet why
Yeah.
what the reason for
Decided
her
to go back.
comeback was. I don't think
Maybe she just got inspired by like always reading the book
it
of
could
her.
be.
Yeah.
Could be. I guess we'll find
But
out. But I am
yeah.
very interested to find out, because the show, there have been a bunch of anime about anime, and anime about manga. Um, and this one I think has a different take on it a little bit. It's the character is like less. I suppose you could say she's obsessed with manga. I mean, she is.
Mm,
It's definitely a fixation of hers, but it her love for manga does seem to be more like all encompassing. Even if
yeah.
she has an imaginary friend, it's like manga is less of an escape for her and is more like just a straightforward passion.
Hmm.
Um,
Yep.
she doesn't seem to be like the characters in Bakuman, for example, who are just completely they're obsessed with manga to the point that they don't seem like they would be functional people otherwise. Um,
Mm,
she
yep.
has friends that she's made, perhaps with the help of like social lessons that she's learned from manga, reading it as a child. But she seems to be more, I don't know, normal, better adjusted
Yep.
than some of the
I agree
characters
with you.
in those other series.
Yep.
And her love for manga is just more pure. So I think that's a good direction.
Yep. And I also see that the show just doesn't step a foot wrong in this first episode. So everything just for me it's just about it's just perfect the way it is. It's
Yeah, I
really a
enjoyed
good
it.
compliment. That show. So yeah. All right, I put it 4 out of 10.
I have it as number two.
Oh, all right.
Very interested to see what form it will take.
Yeah. All right. The next one gonna be the HO manga, the adaptation of like a classic manga. And this one is Red River.
Right. Sora wa akai kawa no hotori.
Wow.
I am Japanese. Yeah, this I have to imagine there were a lot of people who read this manga who are now very displeased with the adaptation it's receiving.
What's your take on that? On,
You
on the show
know,
itself?
I came into it knowing that it was going to be like,
Mm,
it was going to have a very old style to it, I suppose.
mm-hmm.
That it wasn't going to feel particularly modern. This is just like a polite way of saying that it kind of looks uh, bad.
Yeah.
The animation's not very good. Neither is
Uh,
the art direction. But I like the fact that I knew even like before I watched the episode, I knew from the PV that it was going to be kind of
bad.
janky looking. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. That just made me more forgiving of it, I suppose. I don't think this was terrible. Uh,
Right.
Certainly it doesn't hold up to the best looking modern anime.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the like Witch in Mongolia, Jaadugar,
Mm-hmm.
that we were just talking about, that has is so much more complete looking. Like there's the real vision behind it, and there's a harmony between the softer, like more textured backgrounds and the kind of doll-like characters, I guess. In this show, it's really just like pointy-chinned Bishonen characters, like the
Yeah.
classic super pointy chins to indicate that a character has like great cheekbones or whatever that you see in a lot of shoujo manga, and the backgrounds are just like I don't. The sense of place is not particularly strong
Uh-huh.
in the Hittite Empire, but
Yeah.
I don't know, just the classic setup and all the tropes I felt like were kind of entertaining. Maybe I'm just being
All right.
too nice, or I was in a good mood while I was watching it. I don't know. How do you feel?
All right. I have no trouble with the presentation. Like I would think that a lot of people will have trouble with like this show not moving at all. It's look like 30 years ago, which is when the material the manga was released.
Right.
As we watch a lot of the old shows, I think I'm getting more tolerant to this as well. It's just that storytelling that way too old that that remind me of why we have since moved on from them. Like it's literally start with a kiss,
Yeah.
and to like to this girl to like a boy that they don't even have a relationship. I don't think they are boyfriend or girlfriend. They after that kiss, she still wonder if are we a friend? Why he kissed me? But I kind of like it. You know, that's kind of feeling uh and even like when she get into like her family with like all the members, they are just like exactly what you would expect, and then she got judged for back, and then she's not a good character in the moment as well. Like she just understand why she's so confused about all the thing, but she did every single thing that make her look bad. That like she just when someone when a prince tried to save her by saying that like I kiss her and like we gonna have a night together, and she was like what I no, and then he has to tell her just go with my story, otherwise they will kill you, and she was like oh okay, but so yeah, not a good protagonist by any means. uh it yeah, well, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure I will be tolerant. I will have the tolerant to watch more of this without getting like getting angry of the protagonist.
I mean, the plot point of him saving her life by saying that they slept together, and so she's not like a
Yep.
worthy sacrifice to their god,
uh
uh, kind of makes
it's just
sense.
stupid, right? All right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it is a pretty stupid setup, but you got to figure that if she's been teleported back in time like over 3,000 years, because we're dealing with like BCE. Um,
uh
this is like the 13th century BCE, so she's not going to be acclimated to this kind of society, and she's going to need some help surviving. So this guy is just who she ran into, um, and yeah, I don't know. I guess that's fine. She's not a very strong character because she's kind of like moving from situation to situation, not under her own power. But whatever. I mean, that's kind of what you expect from older shoujo manga.
uh
Um, like this manga, as you mentioned, the source material was published 30 years ago, 1995 to be exact. But there are
Yep.
older shoujo manga than this that have like similar stories. For example, Crest of
Yep.
the Royal Family.
Yep.
That came out in 1976. That was about like an American teenage girl who is, uh,
Mm-hmm.
sent back in time to ancient Egypt.
Yep.
So
Yep.
this
Yep.
series more than likely draws some inspiration from that one.
I agree.
And when the whole idea of like a young woman being transported back in time to a place that isn't like boring old Japan. That might be the mindset of somebody who reads it. Like Japan is so my life is so boring, and I just want to go someplace amazing and meet a bunch of like hot guys. That's kind of what we're in for here. Like we're in the Hittite Empire,
Yep.
and she's gonna meet like princes and pharaohs or whatever, and she's gonna ride
and
horses and use a sword, and it's gonna be amazing. I
and it's
I I don't know. I
all
just feel kind
yeah,
of forgiving of all that.
even to the way the prince saved her by putting the cloth on her to hide from the gas, and somehow that worked.
Right. Yeah, that is kind of crazy that he says, "Yeah, I just managed to seduce this woman, so leave us now. She's here underneath this cloak, but don't check under. I know you're looking for a woman, and I
But under the
specifically
wood.
said I was with a woman, but
Yeah.
don't look under this cloak. This isn't the woman you
Yeah.
were looking for. Jedi mind
Yeah.
trick." Uh, that was pretty stupid. Okay, the dumbest thing in the episode for me is not the fact that like she is saved by his story of having slept with her, because it means
Yeah.
she's like been sullied or whatever, and she's not a fitting blood sacrifice. It's that after he kisses her, she gains the ability to understand the language. That is
Yep.
stupid as hell.
Yep.
I mean, that's just speculation on her part. She thinks to herself, why can I understand their language now? Is it because he kissed me? I certainly hope to Miyazaki that that is not the case, because that is really dumb. Like his saliva has some sort of magical cognitive ability that,
No, no, it's on her. So actually, she have the ability to know because she kisses someone, so that she can learn the language. So like she had been the special, the chosen one, ways before. That princess chose her to be a sacrifice. I don't know why they have uh to go up to 3,000 years later to get her back.
yeah. I mean, I
But
have to assume that it's like
there would
because
be
she is some sort of like reincarnated version of a character from back then.
right.
And that probably makes
Yep.
her actually like the chosen one. Like she is some sort of princess who's been reincarnated 3,000 years later. Um, that's my guess. And she'll
Yep.
discover that, as the story goes on, and then she'll become some sort of leader to, I don't know, the Hittite people.
Yep. Well,
But just like knowing that all of that is coming in the future kind of makes me feel like more forgiving of this early stuff where she is completely helpless and people are just creating schemes surrounding her, and she's like, "What's going on?"
you remember all the ridiculous thing that we saw in the Rose of Versailles? Like all the killing, all the people who just say stupid things. I
Yeah.
think you will have that deja vu when you're watching more of the shows.
Well, I mean, I don't know that I'm going to watch any more. I just, there's a bunch of shows from this season that I'm interested in watching more of. So I don't know if
Yep.
this is going to be able to compete with all that. But
Yep.
just for the 20 something minutes that I was watching this one, I was like, it's okay. I don't,
Yep.
I don't hate it. If I were in a different mood when I watched it originally, I might hate
Yep.
it because I do hate
Yep.
anime sometimes.
All right. I put it 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I had a dead last.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, it says something that even if the show is the last one and you still enjoy it, it says something about this season, right?
I enjoy it? I guess I did. I thought it was okay. Certainly there were moments where I laughed because it was so stupid.
Yeah.
Um, I remember the moment when there are multiple princes who are introduced in that final scene, like where what's her face, Yuri. I don't think we've said her name one time. Yuri
Uh,
is going to be executed as like a blood offering or whatever,
right.
and there are multiple princes there who are going to like witness the execution or whatever. And when Prince Kyle, who's the third prince, is introduced, there are like a bunch of fangirls who are like, "Yeah, it's
Yep.
Kyle
Yep.
Oji-sama" or whatever.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
it was that moment was extremely funny to me, not only because it was so tropey that like the most handsome character would have his own little fan club, like he's the star student at a Japanese high school or something, but the fact that it was only like three women who were providing the voices, like the mob voices during that scene. I was like, oh, it's supposed to be like a legion of girls, but they only got three people to do the voices because this is such a cheap production. Then it turns out it is only three women. I cracked up when we
Oh,
got a shot of them. That was so funny to me.
well.
It was like some unintentional comedy. It's good for the
Yeah, I
soul.
I was about to say that. All right, let's go next to this one. I gotta say that in Japanese because I think it's rhyme more. Sayonara Lara.
Yeah, I think it should have been called that. I don't think we should have gotten a translated title. Goodbye,
Yep.
Lara. I think Sayonara Lara, the fact that it rhymes, and many
Yep.
people know the word sayonara.
Yep.
It might be one of like 10 Japanese words they know,
Yep. Yep.
along
I
with
agree.
konnichiwa and like domo arigato. Um, yeah, it's a cool title. It's a cool show. I enjoyed it.
Yep. Do you enjoy the show, the episode itself?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
will say I'm kind of looking forward to the rest of the show more, like the promise of it more
Right.
than I enjoyed this first episode. I think it was good. Like I liked
Right.
it.
Right.
But
Um,
it is like all set up pretty much.
yeah. I'm actually more nervous about like what they're gonna do in the future because I didn't really I really enjoyed the the mythical, the mythical, like the way it's set up, its settings, like it the under the ground is based on like the tale that we all know, the Little Mermaid, and it's have like some of the twists at the end, some of these like the tragedy. It feels like like you're in the play. You feel like the everything that she had been through is just for nothing. She turned into the sea foam and all that, and then there's a twist at the end where she get into the modern day, and I was like, not really sure if like if I gonna enjoy it as much as I enjoy in the with what I see in the first episodes.
I feel the opposite.
All right. Yep.
I mean, I liked the setup and all that, but
Mm-hmm.
I am very interested to see how what she will do in the present day, and I think that's probably because of like the framing of the episode. The very first shot we get is like a photograph of her of Lara together with Mari,
Right.
who's the girl with the boxing gloves.
Yep.
So we establish right away that that's where she's going to end up before it cuts back like 250 years in time or however long it is. Um, so we know that up front, and then it's the climactic moment of her, of like the geyser or whatever, shooting her out of the ocean and up into the air at the end with the track with the little vocal improvisations, which I thought was nice. I like the music in general for the show.
Mm. Yep.
She's like riding that spout of water and flies through the air, and we see a couple characters down on the ground. We see Madi, and we also see a blue-haired character who has a ring like Lara, who might be like the reincarnated version of one of her sisters.
Yep. That makes sense.
That was very intriguing to me. And the humor, the Ikuhara-esque humor, I thought, of
I
Mari
agree.
like
Yep.
taking the boxing gloves and punching her in order to slow her momentum so she doesn't crash into the ground. That was such an Ikuhara moment, which I
E-
really liked. That kind of made me feel hopeful about the tone that the show will strike going forward.
Even before that, when Lara was a kid, and we see like her first time, like when she opened her eyes and she immediately just chopped down one of the fish.
Right.
I love
Yeah.
that humor, and yeah, I think I didn't really think of Ikuhara, but I think maybe that's why I really like the episodes because I'm just Ikuhara stuff is through my vein, man.
Right. Well, I don't know if there's a connection between the director and Ikuhara per se, but
Mhm.
he was an assistant director on Review Starlight,
I see. Yeah,
and that show was obviously Utena inspired.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so, I mean, I suppose it makes sense that there's some sort of
Yep,
Ikuhara influence.
yep, yep, yep.
And yeah, I feel like that's going to be more pronounced in the modern setting. So I am
Mm,
interested in that.
yep,
And if you compare that to what we saw in the past, it was very reminiscent of the Little Mermaid. Of course, there were differences, like the dagger, for example, that like manifests from her inner light. They say there's some dialogue about like mermaids having light within them, um, I which I don't totally understand. In the original
I
fairy tale, there's a lot of talk about souls, like humans have souls and mermaids do not. But the Little Mermaid in the Hans Christian Andersen story gains the ability, like she gains the opportunity to craft a soul for herself by doing good deeds. Uh, perhaps something similar is happening here, like, and that's what's intended with the imagery of the light shining inside of her, and the cuts
Mm,
to like a black background with a star-shaped light.
mm.
Um, and that light is what manifests the dagger in the scene like where she turns into sea foam. You remember the dagger with like that has like a little eye in it?
Yeah, I do remember that.
It's yeah, I have to assume that dagger is going to factor into the story in the future, but we don't know
Yep.
exactly how. So I'm
Mm,
intrigued by that as well.
yep.
The setup of her like looking at a bunch of mirrors to see the memories of her what happened to her people over the 200 years that she was, or 300,
Yep.
250 whatever years
Yep.
that she was asleep inside that clam, I guess.
Mm.
It feels a little bit artificial to me.
All right. Huh. Yep.
Like all these memories were just preserved in mirrors just for her. Like who, I guess
Yep.
Grace did that.
Yep. And then it just get all got blow off when when she finished what she done.
Right. Yeah. And I suppose
Yeah.
Grace set that up as well. This is all like her
Mm.
magic. It feels kind of like
Yep.
Lara is in the palm of her hand.
Right.
Yeah, that felt a little contrived to me.
Right. Um, I love the visual of it. So I love all the movement, all the colors. The underworld sea look great. Um, I love the character design for now as well.
Hmm.
I just feel that compare that because I have a lot of linking to review Starlight a lot when I watch the episodes. If I just just the first episode to the other show, I would say the other show still manage to impact me more because like it just more bizarre in a way that they got into the stay downstairs down to the elevator and you can see like a talking giraffe. I think that image just stick me even now. uh
Wakarimas.
I love that. uh yeah, this one, but it retelling the story that we all know and then it do something make a spin out of it. Yeah, so I really looking forward to that. I think between this one and Jaadugar, I love both of them. The same amount. I actually have a hard time of deciding which one is number one. But yeah, I think I just went with Sayonara Lara at the moment.
It's got to be
For
Jaadugar. Got
yeah,
to be.
so yeah, I put that as number one.
All right. I have it 3.
Yep. All right. How about the next one? Smoking behind the supermarket with you.
Mm-hmm.
Super no ura de yani sufutari.
Oh, you're also Japanese.
Yeah. I don't know where the smoking word in Japanese, but
It's
yeah,
Yani.
here you go. Yani.
Yeah,
Mm,
because of
all
Yani
right.
Neko.
I see. Yeah.
Yep. This is like one of the most anticipated shows of the season, I think, for people in general,
Right.
because it's
I
based on a
feel
very popular manga.
I enjoy it, but I feel a little bit underwhelmed as well at the same time because I think the premise run pretty thin in this show. It's just about a guy, a working man who like enjoy his little time with this supermarket, and he run into this girl who like they smoke together without even realize that she the same girl who he's who who is a cashier that he always goes, which is feel a bit like manga is to me as well.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's fine. It's maybe that premise isn't going to last 12 episodes
Right.
in terms of like entertainment, but the sh- the show can always change.
I think it's go for more of like intimate in here, like when they get to know each other, they share more of their own personal stuff, and that when they really get to know each other.
Perhaps. I mean, the atmosphere between the two of them right now is mostly just teasing.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so I have to imagine the show will coast on that for a little while before they talk to each other about their own lives or whatever.
Right.
Um, all we know for now is that he likes going there after work because the cashier is so cute,
Yeah.
and and the girl who he has the smoke breaks with is the same person, and he's not going to pick
Yeah.
up on that for God knows how long. So
Because
far, that's all we've got.
he did even pick up that they have the same hair colors. Or
Yeah, that is a big clue.
yeah. In any case, yeah. I think the way that he reviewed that, what did he say? What did he frame exactly? He framed that, like meeting her or seeing her smiling, is like the best part of his day or something along that line.
Yeah, he called it a pick me up.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
she's his own personal pick me up.
Pick me up.
That just kind of indicates that yeah, I mean sometimes people refer to coffee as like a pick me up, something that changes
Yeah.
their mood or whatever. Uh it just the fact that he's relying on somebody who he barely knows at a supermarket that he really doesn't need to go to.
Yeah.
He's just making
By
trips
this.
there just to pick up yummy mochi chips
Yeah.
as an excuse
Even
to
by
see her.
even by the stuff that he doesn't need to as well.
Right. That I mean that's just an indicator that he doesn't particularly like his job.
Yeah.
His boss
Yeah.
calls meetings, meeting after meeting after meeting, um, and he's kind of sick of it, and so are his coworkers. And he just needs he's living that salaryman life, and he doesn't feel particularly fulfilled, and he needs a pick me up. So that's I mean yeah, the premise is very thin. Um, that's why I wasn't exactly sure where to rank this one when I was figuring what number I ought to give it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I did so originally when I watched this. They before it aired on TV, they posted. I don't know, posted is the right word. They put up online the first. I want to say like 6 episodes or so. They cut them in half and made them into like half length episodes.
I see. Yeah.
So I
All right.
watched the first two of those. Um, I don't know how long ago, like before the season started, basically, like
Oh,
late
right.
mid June, late June, something like that. And so then I went back after the episode actually premiered, and I was like, let's see if anything about it is different. It was exactly the same, except the OP and ED were different. So there's a
Mhm.
different, there are different theme songs for the half length versions, but everything else was identical. And yeah, both when I watched it back then and when I watched it now, I was like, eh, it's all right. I mean, the animation's okay. I will say that like interior scenes don't look great.
Mhm.
The background art in general, like when I do like the pacing of how he walks through the
Mhm.
um the grocery store, and it's like
Yeah.
you see him look at an end cap of an aisle, and you see him approach it from a distance, walk up to it, stop, take something off the shelf, put it in his little cart or whatever, his basket, and then walk out of frame. So the you develop a sort of rhythm with this character. It's not just he goes to the grocery store, bam, he teleports to the the checkout aisle. There is a little bit more detail put into it. But as for the grocery store itself, the I don't think the background art is particularly convincing. So I would say that's a
I,
strike against it, I guess. The
yeah.
animation though is pretty good.
I think it's supposed to be just like any original store, supermarket that that we see on the street. So it's supposed to be like pretty standard.
Okay.
Pretty,
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think they
Uh,
even if they wanted to keep it generic, I think they could have put a little more detail into it. I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe not.
Is
Maybe they did
it
want to keep it like kind of plain looking.
is the version that you watch also like 5 minutes shorter than normal, like than normal length? Like this one, I think just like 15 minutes, right?
No, the first episode was 23 minutes or 24
Was
or
all right.
whatever.
Ah,
So the version that I watched originally was just like it was something like a 14-minute episode and then a 12-minute episode, and you get that extra
mm,
time because the OP and ED play in
I
both,
see, I see.
you know. But it
Mm,
was exactly the same.
all right. Yep. I think I ranked them just by on how much I want to watch the second episode. So
I mean, that's more or
I'm
less
not
what I do as well.
yeah, I'm not really that hot in regard to this show. I think I like the fact that they are two, adult main characters, talking to each other. But even like within that, they are the stock character that we see before. A salaryman who like work overtime, really doesn't really like his job, and there's just like the one place that he can like kind of relax and talking more of himself, like be more open.
Are you
So
eating
with
something?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I'm just coughing a lot, so I have something
Oh,
uh
okay. Cough drop. Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Hopefully you don't hear a lot of coughing when you put on the record together.
Oh, I've been hearing it a little bit, but that's fine. This is not a professional product that we're pumping out here.
Yeah. So
I mean, how many other anime have there been where it's about a salaryman who doesn't like his job and like meets
well,
a woman who he's
no,
interested
no.
in?
All right. That's a good question that you put, but I think that so many characters, older characters, when we talk about anime, has been about salaryman who doesn't like a job. I cannot think of any particular one at the moment now.
I don't think it's that common.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, most anime are about teenagers.
All right. I bust you when I can think of someone.
All right. I mean, I can actually think of one now off the top of my
uh.
head, and that would be Wreck.
Yep. I think another one actually. Aggressive Vesicle.
Oh, yeah, but that's not as like well, I suppose it is focused on romance, but um,
Yeah. She's a female character though.
yeah, it's that show is more about like Retsuko's life. I think it's less. Uh, she's not immediately like thrown into some kind of romance. Um, that serves as like a direct counterpoint to the misery that she experiences at work. I think that show's more well-rounded than this one.
Yeah. 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 I agree. All right. For now, I put this 7 out of 10.
So did I.
Yep, exactly where it should be. All right, the next one is a more interesting one. I'm not sure how we would think about this show, so eager to find out. Sparks of Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Nijuseki Denki Mokuroku.
I think it's
Um,
just slated at 20th Century Electricity Catalog.
yeah, I think it translates directly to the name of the book that the main character's brother
Mm-hmm.
has, and that somehow ends up in the hands of the older sister of the female lead, and
Yeah,
that she then takes to the younger brother and is then going to be stolen, I imagine, by the
yeah,
antagonist.
not so long. Yeah, we don't know
Yeah,
for sure
yeah,
when it end
very
up.
very strange show.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it's set in 1908.
Mm-hmm.
Because the little text appears on screen at the start of the show, and it says the 36th year of the Meiji era. Um, that's the flashback to when the main character whose name I suppose what do you call him? Kihachi or Sakamoto?
All right, let's call them by their first name.
Is it Sakamoto? I'm pulling up the thing now.
I I think they call each other by their last name by now.
Yeah,
No.
Sakamoto is his last name. Okay, but
All
Kihachi
right.
is his first name. So Kihachi, I don't even remember what I was talking about.
Yeah. You said it's a very trained settings.
Yeah, I mean that's for sure. Oh yeah, I was talking about the year in which it's set. So the
Yeah.
flashback where it's Kihachi and his older brother
Mm-hmm.
Seiroku,
Mm-hmm.
they go to kind of like a World's Fair sort of thing. It's like a technology exhibition. That's in Meiji year 36. Then, so that's a flashback. We move 4 years forward into the present. That would
Mm-hmm.
put us in 1908.
Yep.
And it's an alternate version of the Meiji era where electricity has not yet caught on, and instead we're all still using steam power.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the show adopts like a particular look, I think, in order to synergize with its setting. It's got a sort of a canvas look to it. That's how all
Mm-hmm.
the backgrounds are. And like whenever steam appears on screen, it's supposed to look very rough and sort of
Right.
tactile, I think. I don't really like the way that they animate the steam.
Mm-hmm. All right.
There's not a lot of volume to it. It does feel kind of like paint on a canvas, sort of layered, like the layered on top of one another, like a bit of gray paint here, and then another splotch of it kind of on top, and it layered in a different direction, like a different stroke. I don't. There's no sense of volume to the smoke or the steam in this show, and I don't really like that.
Hmm. Interesting.
Just a
I
nitpick
think
there.
I think the visuals remind me a lot of Violet Evergarden. I think they have like kind of the same color palette, especially when it's dark at night. Uh, and I don't really like that.
I guess it's sort of Violet Evergarden esque. I think that show was intended to be more like filmic. This one is
Mm,
more it has more of a painted aesthetic, I feel. I will say one way in which they're similar is there's a lot of compositing going on.
compositing.
For
Is that in a good way?
no,
All right.
for
Not
example, do you remember the scene where Inako goes to the shrine in order to, I don't
mm-hmm.
know, she goes there to pray, I
Spray.
suppose.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, and Kihachi is already there, like behind the curtain, working on his phonograph. He's like repairing it or something.
Mm,
Um, there's a scene where Inako she claps her hands together in order to pray. There's a close up of her, and you see that everything that's not like at the center of the frame. So, for example, her neck, which is frame right, and her fingers, which are frame left,
yep.
those have like a canvas effect applied to them. The
All right.
idea being
So
that they're sort of out of focus.
right. I understand what you mean.
And
So they got
I
that
just hated
cloud.
that.
Mm,
Like, you know, the animators took their time to draw her, and they just smeared some shit on top of it in order to be like, wow, it's she's that bit of the frame is out of focus, so that's why it looks kind of like the background. And that's why it has this canvas effect on it. Uh, that reminded me of Violet Evergarden, where I don't know, just the amount of post processing
yeah.
going on
Overproduce.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, not to my taste.
I feel that this time Kyoto animation did something different though. That is the characters expression. Like you look at the face of the antagonist, like his face can go really off model from one scene to another. And this is something that I don't think Kyoto animation has done that often before. Like they normally keep it really consistent on model all the time.
Well, I wouldn't say it's off model. He just gets like exaggerated,
Exaggerations.
yeah,
Yeah.
facial expression. It's not like Red River, where the characters are just poorly
Yep,
drawn
yep,
some of
yep.
the time.
Well, but
um,
like you
yeah,
did not
I
see
know what you're
they
talking
do that
about.
in, yeah. Yep.
Very exaggerated, like villainous expressions on that guy's face. And of course, there's also the scene at this, at the same shrine where Kihachi is like explaining how the
Ah,
phonograph works, and he starts to
yep.
talk faster and faster, and then he gets like those alligator lips.
Yep, 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 yep.
I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, I agree. It's just kind of like they're breaking something, like some of their rules doing by doing that. Kind of feel like a bit refreshing.
Sorry. Yeah, it does. It does make the show feel a little different. Um, the background art in general looks pretty nice. I don't like when the canvas effect intrudes on you know stuff that's supposed to be like a cell layer, basically.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
But the art is very very pretty,
mm-hmm.
and I don't know. Maybe the idea is to provide some contrast by giving the characters those ridiculous expressions from time to time. Certainly, the
Yeah,
show is using a bunch of different styles all in one. Like the
yeah,
scene towards the end where Kihachi and Yajiro, who is the painter, um,
mm-hmm,
like the son of the house where Kihachi lives,
yeah, yeah.
they put that image of like a female Buddha on. They project it electrically, and Inako starts to pray to it because her talent is believing in things.
Mm-hmm,
When Kihachi like spies on her praying to this projected image, he has his own like there. It's not a flashback, but he has his own like fantasy sequence that he imagines with a bunch of like painted people in a crowd watching projected images on a screen and like eating snacks that are delivered to them via like baskets on ropes. You remember what I'm talking about?
yep, yep, yep. I do.
That's another like wildly different style compared to anything else that appeared in the show before that point. And I think the idea of that scene was like it was like foreshadowing a modern theatrical experience, like when images would be projected very quickly
Mm,
in sequence,
yep.
which is what a film is. That Kihachi was kind of like seeing into the future. He was seeing that possibility by observing Inako, being so convinced by a single image. He was like, well,
Mm,
what if you show
yep.
them all in sequence? Um, so that was I mean, I don't know how to feel about that scene actually. It was very strange and very different from anything else in the episode.
I kind of like that scene. I kind of intrigued by the concept as well. Like this is the alternative world where electricity have been requested or not encouraged. And he might be the one key who like lighting up the world, literally. Um, I just don't really like any other character for now.
Um, okay. I kind of I kind of like Inako.
All right,
Yeah, I
all
mean,
right.
I like the perform her voice. I like the performance of her character.
Mm.
Um, I like the catchphrase of "My talent is believing in things." I think that's I think that's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Um, and that's going to be necessary if she's going to be part of whatever whatever movement Kihachi is involved in, like a movement to bring electricity to the forefront of Japanese technology. You have to have people who like really believe in that sort of thing in order to get it off the ground.
Mm.
So even if she's not the most scientifically minded person, and even if she is kind of gullible, um, you need people who are going to like cheer on and champion that sort of new technology. So
Mm.
I don't know. Perhaps she can even like lend her ideas if she has some sort of like fanciful ideas about what electricity can do. Um, that result from her prayers or her daydreams or whatever. She could be important to the story in that way. So I like her character. I don't particularly like Kihachi just
Yep.
yet, but whatever.
Mm.
I mean that can come with time.
Yep.
Um, yeah,
All right. I put a 6 out of 10. How about you?
I have it as number 9.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought you enjoyed this show more than me. I was
maybe
wrong.
maybe I did.
All right. The next one is the more interesting one, I think, in the sense that I have seen this show back like two weeks ago. I don't really remember much of that.
Yeah, it was one
So
of the first premieres.
yeah. So you might be doing the heavy lifting here.
Oh,
The
I don't
word
think so.
dancing. The word is dancing.
Right. Yeah, I mean I've forgotten a bunch of the details of this show. I know that this is another historical show. How many historical shows are there? We got
Yeah. I
Jaadugar. We
yeah.
have Red River. We have, I
Yep.
mean, Sayonara Lara. Its backstory is set 250 years in the past. We
Yep.
have Sparks of Tomorrow, set in the early 20th century.
Yep.
Not really historical; it's alternate history. And now we have The World is Dancing.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
half, kind of.
Mhm. Yep. And only from what I see here, only one show in the future, which is the code in the show.
Right.
So
So this show is set in the not the 14th century BCE, but the 14th century, AD or CE,
mhm.
and it's set in the early Muromachi period. So what's interesting about this show is that the Elusive Samurai's second season is airing this
Yep.
season.
Yep.
Uh, the World is Dancing has a main character who hasn't yet been like properly introduced. He's the guy who appeared on the battlefield in like the opening scene where characters are walking through a battlefield.
Uh-huh.
Um, he is part of the Ashikaga family, who are like the family in power basically in Japan during the early Muromachi period. He is the
Uh-huh.
grandson of the main antagonist in The Elusive Samurai.
All right.
So there's a
You
direct like familial relation between two characters, one from this show and one from that show.
yeah. You mean in real life.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, in real Japanese history, yeah.
Yep. 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 All right. Interesting.
Um,
This I would say this show remind me a bit too much of the exclusive samurai, but for good reasons.
it is very similar, yeah.
And
I mean I
even
don't know how similar the origin like because they're both based on manga. I don't know how similar the character designs are between the two
yep.
works. I looked it up and they're not illustrated by the same person.
Mhm.
Um, so maybe the manga have similar character designs and that's why the shows look so similar, but maybe they don't and that's just like, the show
Yeah.
was kind of modeled after that one. I don't know.
Maybe just because of the setting, that you say is kind of like 50 years apart,
Something
and
like that. Yeah. Maybe a little
yeah,
less.
I would say that between the two shows, though, this one is, I would say, more interesting in concept. It's more about like the dancing and the importance of dancing. So this particular uh protagonist, the young kid, who's like as he see the real dancing and he feel more inspired because like he been grow up with that and he don't feel like he love dancing at all. But this might change now because of that crazy performance that he see at the end.
Right. Yeah, he sees a shirabyoshi who are like sort of like priestesses, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But they're more connected to the performing arts. Uh, yeah, he witnesses a shirabyoshi, I assume practicing in her hut or whatever,
Yeah.
and that's the like the episode's climactic moment, I guess, because as you said before that point, he wasn't particularly interested in dancing, though his father leads a dance troupe.
Hmm.
But now that he's seen this other way of expressing yourself through dance, he's like, oh well, if this is possible, then perhaps I can find a version of dance that allows me to express myself. Um, and the things that the way that I feel personally. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, I guess, because it's less militaristic than the Elusive Samurai. It's more about art and self-expression. Um, I do think that the animation, obviously the color palette is nice, the backgrounds look good and all that, but animation is the show's strong suit. Even outside of that big moment towards the end, there's the animation of his father like performing for a group of people. I guess it's a public performance,
Hmm.
and it's very rigid. Like the way he moves is extremely like studied and accurate. Like there's
Yep.
not a line out of place, which I think really supports the the lesson. It harmonizes with his father's character. That his method of dance is very rigid and very I don't know, particular. It's very exact, which is probably why Oniyasha doesn't particularly care for it because he has to drill the same steps over and over again. It's like studying. It's boring. So the fact that that scene was drawn so accurately fits with what we're supposed to take away from it.
Yep. Yep. Um, I feel that the dancing itself, the sequence where they where she did- where he witnessed someone do the dancing, it's pretty good. Like the way that it's go, like it's go basically go wild, go crazy with the dancing, with the animation itself. I think you was not that impressed with that scenes compared to me.
Yeah, based on what I wrote about it,
Yeah.
I like the concept, and it was um, ambitious, and
uh,
I thought it looked fine. I just thought I don't know. There were moments where it was too smeared. Like it was too inexact, um, and you kind of lost the form of the person doing the dancing.
yeah.
I just thought that there was room for improvement, I guess.
Mm,
But I'm not an animator, so my word is not law when it comes to this sort of thing.
yeah. I think that's certainly that the pick up of that episode for me, because otherwise I don't really feel that the characters is in that engagement. It's in that engaged for me
Hey,
to
you're feeling that way about a lot of these series. I don't really like the characters. I don't really like the characters.
huh. Yeah, well, mm,
Come on,
isn't that like the
man.
first? Isn't that the first thing that you think about the show, right? You have
No,
the character that you root for,
actually, no. I mean, I
right?
know that that's the way that a lot of people approach like a television series or a movie
Yep.
or whatever. You got to find a character who's likable and relatable, and you root for him and stuff. But I like that sort of thing is nice, but not.
Yep.
Maybe that's not the point. Maybe the show wants to communicate something through that character that isn't immediately apparent. You're gonna have to wait a while before a
Yep.
character, a personality trait of theirs starts to emerge, or they get involved in a story that is going to test them in a particular way, or reveal something about them, or maybe the likability of the character is just not a major concern of the writer or the director. Um, I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Yep.
It's nice. It's nice when you immediately like a character, whether it be their design or some aspect of their personality or something.
Mm,
But I guess I don't.
yep.
I don't always feel that need.
Yep. No, that's fair enough. Um, also like before he got into he got into watching watching this band, he actually been sneaking out a lot as well, and he make friend with one of the others like boy on at the village.
Right.
uh Ishiya. Oh no, not Ishiya. Kugane is the name of that boy.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I think it's all set up for now, so we don't really know what Kugane grow in the future. But I would reckon that maybe in the future he might team up with this boy, and maybe I don't even know what they're gonna do in the future. Maybe team up
Yeah,
and
I don't exactly know either. Oniyasha lives a very separate life, I think, from the.
yeah, yeah,
It's not as though Oniyasha is royalty or anything. He's a common
mhm,
person, but he's like because of the family that he's been born into and the tradition that been born into. He's like his life is already dedicated to the arts, basically.
mhm,
And Kogane, I think, represents a more traditional, like peasant life, um,
mhm.
a more traditional common experience for this time period. Like maybe his family, I can't remember exactly what they talk about on the riverbank there, but maybe his family are farmers or something. I think maybe he mentions a famine, like or
Mm.
a poor farming season, like the crops aren't really coming in. Can't remember exactly.
It did pop my mind, maybe.
Oh, what?
Yeah, yeah. It did ring a bell. So
Oh, okay.
maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Um, but I don't know if Kogane will end up being a dancer. Maybe. But anyway, I think maybe he in this first episode is just meant to represent the sort of ordinary life that Oniyasha wishes he had.
Mm. Mhm.
Um, yeah, but I mean I have to imagine that Kogane will continue to appear. They probably wouldn't
Yeah.
write in his
I
character and then just be like, "Sayonara."
yeah. I think this is such all set up at this point, so we don't really know what it's gonna be in the future. I would reckon that they're gonna be like a tragedy stride to the to dance, so that make Oniyasha just away from his father, and that he have to learn and inspire the dance by himself. But yeah, like I'm not too sure how the show gonna go from here.
Well, Oniyasha is eventually going to meet Ashikaga, the
Yeah,
character who we meet on the battlefield.
right.
Um, and that's gonna the story will go from there. I don't know. I mean, I
Mm.
kind of know the direction that the story is going to take. I guess I don't really want to say.
All right.
Um, but
No, fair enough.
yeah, that it'll get started. I think once the Oniyasha meets this
Right.
this influential figure.
Is there a time skip then before?
I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know.
All right.
Maybe
All right. So what ranking you put for the show?
number 8.
Number eight for me as well. So we got two shows that we have the same ranking.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now talking about the characters that I do care about, let's go to the very last show, which is also the sequel, the second core, to be exact, I think, or they maybe they call that officially the second season. Anyway, the title is "You and I Are the Polar Opposites."
Right. It's interesting. The mangaka who
Yeah.
wrote the source material for this show is going to have a an anime airing all 4 seasons this year because Polar Opposites
Oh.
was in winter, and then
Yep.
the Ramparts of
Yep.
Ice will
Yep. Yep.
be
Yep.
spring. Now we have Polar Opposites season 2 in summer, and Ramparts of Ice season 2 is going to be airing in fall.
Good. I
So there
mean,
seems to have been a very concerted effort
yep.
to
Yep.
have their work on screen, like for the entire year.
Hmm. That's good on him. Even like the Rampage of Eyes, I think it's in next week as well. So it can. it would get more exposed
Yeah,
by
that's
non-anime watcher.
right. Yeah, I prefer this show though.
I prefer this show, but to be fair, I only watched the first episodes of the Rampage of Eyes.
Yeah, me too. I don't know that I'm gonna watch any more of it. Maybe
Yeah,
someday.
maybe. But
Uh,
yeah,
for this
I
show, what is the story of this episode exactly? Help me
uh,
remember.
all right. They said celebrating the Christmas. Uh,
Right.
Also, like like before that, like all of the members just having time together. Like it's explore, uh, s- like their relationship. I think it's go a bit introspect this time. Like they actually questioning about the main characters relationship, like what I think they were asking like whether or not you yeah, something about why they start. Not really sure like what was the context though. And then afterward it's between Miyu and Yusuke, spending the time in the at her house baking cake baking cake.
Right. And having like some awkward first kisses,
Yeah, yeah,
accidental
yeah, yeah,
ones
yeah.
with teeth.
Yeah.
That brought back some bad memories.
Well, I get everyone had to go through that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's kind of coming back to me now that a lot of the episode revolved around Azuma's character. The
Yep, yep, yep. That girl.
the sort of gray-haired girl
Yep,
and how she acts she's like very friendly.
yep.
And her friends kind of question whether she should
I
be engaging with the male upperclassmen who are kind of attempting to tease them. Uh, that I'm kind of whenever this show goes in that direction, I'm kind of
yeah.
interested in it, even though I don't totally understand everything that
I
they say.
yeah. Well,
Because it's
I
about
think
like Japanese social dynamics, which I don't get to begin with,
agree.
and then the translation, like the subtitles, are not always giving me a perfect picture. I think of how I can interpret
Yeah.
the
All right.
conversations, but yeah,
I think it's very interesting. I also agree with you. It just because I would say the East we tend to be more like the Asian. We tend to be more timid. We're not really going out to say hi to each other. So that like and and here in the West we are this is like the normal thing to do. The normal thing to just go and say hi to people you don't know. But here, especially in Japan, they really timid about that. You have to know someone before you can randomly just pop to them and say hi. And it's a yeah it actually try to be more upfront about that. I mean like Azuma, she think of these thing as normal, right? And she just having like all of the weird response from other people where she have to ask herself that like her action is normal or not. And I think the point is that it doesn't really matter, right? But for the teenagers who go through their life, like they're insecure, so every single conversation and interaction with others will have some time affect them.
right,
So I find it
yeah,
interesting. Hmm.
yeah. I even though, like I said, I don't totally grasp
Yeah,
everything that's being communicated by the show, particularly um, with regards to Azuma's character when it comes to uh, you know friendliness
her.
versus shyness versus like. Do you remember the
Yeah,
whole thing in the first season about how the guy Taida, I guess his name is,
yeah,
who like he often goes home with her on the same train or whatever because they live in the same neighborhood.
yeah,
She describes some sort of interaction that she had with like an ex-boyfriend and his new
yeah,
girlfriend or something, and he says they're treating you like crap and you need to value yourself more. Uh, I think there's
yeah.
even a flashback to that moment in this episode. I don't. Yeah, I just I don't know. I'm not on the same page with the show, I guess, in regards to all that stuff. But
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting to me.
Right.
The scenes with Suzuki and Tani, who I guess we can
Yeah.
call Miyu and Yusuke now that they're sort of on a first name basis.
Yeah.
Um, those are more straightforward.
Right.
Those are
Yeah.
more about like the sort of universal experience of young love and everything. Um,
And we
yeah,
even
those
have
are. I mean,
time.
those the what can I say? Those scenes are cute. That's the show's that a big part of the show's mo is that it's the characters are all very like chipper and their designs are very cute and it
Yeah.
works
We even have time for a little bit of Yamada and Nishi as well.
a little bit.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah. I would say that this show works so far because they have been paired up like these characters who are really opposite in their personality, and because of that, the way they approach thing would be different as well. So you would say that Azuma and Tyra pair, uh, but on that lens as well, because Azuma sees in everything, completely normal. She doesn't really care. She just go along. Whereas Tyra is the one who, like very conscious about every little bit of thing and tend
right.
to be overthinking as well. So we will see a little bit of conflict of their conflict in these episodes where Tyra just decided to branch off, just go to one of the shops so that he not be seen together with Azuma, and
Right.
that and that creates some sort of tension between them.
Is it that he
And then
won't be? Is it
he
he's afraid of being seen with her? Isn't he? Doesn't he just not know how to continue to converse with her?
it a little I think it's a little bit of the formers because they are basically childhood friends, so I think they have a lot, they can talk a lot to each other, but he been really concerned about like just going together with her, and maybe just like he think that like Azuma doesn't really want to go with him, so he just wanted to like be the first who break it off.
Yeah. The scene where he like wants to go into the bookstore or anything, he just makes up that excuse and then he changes his mind.
Yeah.
He realizes that uh, that's rude or
Yeah.
it's inconsiderate.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he runs up to her and he's like, "I changed my mind. I can go later."
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, yeah, that's what this show is about in large part is like teenage social dynamics.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, that it works for me.
Yeah. I think it's still work for me. So that and the ongoing relationship between Miyu and Yusuke, or Suzuki and Tani, is also pretty cute.
Yep.
They making progress. They yeah, well, good enough.
Yeah, the show just kind of. I mean, I don't know what else to say about this new episode.
Yeah,
The second
I
season
agree.
premiere, other than the show kind of just gets right back into the swing of things. There's not a clear moment here where you're like, oh wow, the show's really changed and its focus is going to be different and we're onto a different storyline. It's really not like that at all. Um, so it's more of the same,
Yeah,
which for me is a
yeah.
good thing.
All right, I put it third out of 10.
I have it at number 5.
Yeah. All right, so I think at the end we got the three shows, which is Jaadugar, of which in Mongolia, Sayonara Lara,
Mm-hmm.
and Kore Katashine.
Yep. I think. I mean, I haven't scrolled back up and looked at every single one, but you know
Sound right?
that seems to be accurate
Yeah,
based on my memory. And I guess
yeah,
fourth would be you and I are polar opposites.
yeah. and then the Ghost in the Shell just like one point behind.
Oh yes, 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 indeed.
Yeah, I think we got
Oh,
some pretty good
so
shows.
sleepy. All right, we finished just in time. It's about to cross the 2 hour mark.
All right.
So
Yep.
yeah, those are the three shows, and we'll be back in the future to
Yep.
discuss them.
So good.
The
All
next
right.
thing we're gonna do though is on our other channel. We're gonna talk about our top 10 films of the year 2025. Very timely, now that we're
Yep.
most of the way, more than halfway through 2026.
Yep. Can't
I
wait
got a
for
lot.
that.
I got a lot more to watch before I've seen enough to comfortably make a top 10 list, but I'm getting there.
All right. You guys just enjoy this summer 2026 season. I think it's a strong season. So, if you are active of watching anime, there's a lot of options to choose from.
Yeah, does seem to be the case.
Yep. And I hope we cover like all of these cream of the crop so that you don't have to just go straight into into them.
I mean, I think there were some other good shows as well. Um,
Yeah.
you know what show I
Like,
enjoyed? Uh,
yep. Go on.
Flaming Dodgeball Girl Donko.
All right. That's
I
interesting.
watched the first episode. I was like, this is pretty. This is pretty funny. It's a parody, basically, of
Right.
sports anime, and I'm probably gonna watch more of it. To be honest.
Hmm. I also watched just yesterday. Iron Work Jan,
Yep.
and yeah, it's based on the material back in 1995,
Another
1990s.
1995 manga.
Yeah, kind of interesting. I'm not sure if I want to watch more of that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not
And
bad.
then
I've seen that episode as well.
yeah, and then I really quite surprised of the many faces of Victoria, which I kind of enjoy that.
Yeah, that one I have not seen. Um, what the idea? She's an assassin and she's gonna raise a like adopt a daughter
She
or something.
she an assassin and she tried to defect from her current organization, current country. So she tried it. She pretend that she dead, and then she go past the two countries. So she passed one neighboring country to the other country, so that other people cannot trace her, and this she start a new life, like Victoria. And then she see like an abandoned girl, and she decided to just raise her
Man, I bet you
out of the
anything
blue.
that started publishing after Spy Family. I
All
think
right.
Spy Family was like a mega hit, and
Yeah.
now it's got a bunch of copycats.
Yeah. And
It's
then
nice that she, you know, you're
mhm,
with that setup. You're not bogged down with her trying to do spy stuff and raise a family at the same time. I mean, I'm sure that the spy
yeah,
stuff still, uh,
yeah, relevant.
yeah, but at least she like tried to start a new life.
Yeah. And then we have Kachuga Caramelis.
Right. Yeah, I haven't seen that
Uh,
either. Apparently, that's like a lot of people have enjoyed that show, are enjoying that show
yeah,
so far.
kind of interesting. So you can give it a watch. So yep, we have a lot of other options out there. Kind of interesting one.
Yeah. But we'll be back when we return to talk about summer anime. It'll just be those three that we mentioned
Yep, yep,
originally. You know, we're not made of steel. We can't talk about everything and anything.
yep, yep, yep. All right, guys. That's it for today. We will see you in I think a month time in the other podcast in the other channel.
Yeah. See you there.
See ya.
Bye bye.